Hey there everyone, I'm meteorologist Cassie Nall, and this is your 10 weather impact recap for the week. Let's start with a look at some of our top weather stories. Kilauea volcano erupted again. Lava began flowing early last Friday morning, and the views were stunning with the sunrise in the backdrop. The fountain spewed molten rock more than 500 feet into the air. This was the 33rd episode of an eruption that began back in December. Kilauea is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. In the Pacific Northwest, the Lower Sugarloaf fire in Washington state continues to grow, prompting evacuations as the fire exploded in size over the weekend. It's burned close to 29,000 acres and is only 22% contained. Officials say lightning started that fire back on September 1st. From fire to flood, check out this video from New Mexico. Heavy rainfall sent a massive mud flow through Ruidoso, closing roads and leaving residents stranded in their homes. Nearby burn scars from large fires in 2024 have left the area susceptible to flash flooding and mud flows. And in Colorado, the first day of fall looked more like winter. Parts of the Rockies received 6 to 10 inches of heavy, wet snow on Tuesday. Folks who live in the mountains made the best of the early winter weather, and local skiers and snowboarders are looking forward to hitting the slopes with better conditions in the coming months. Now back to fall. The leaves are already starting to turn in parts of Vermont, but this year's drought could impact the leaf peeping season. Yamuno Turco has more on what this could mean for tourism in the Northeast.
In communities across Vermont and New York, the leaves are already starting to change, and the fall foliage season brings people from all over the world to our region to see all the colors. But recent drought conditions mean many trees are changing faster than normal. The Department of Forests says this is happening because the lack of water is putting stress on trees. Josh Hallman, Forest Health Manager, says that the dry weather could also mean leaves fall off quicker too.
Leaves could change earlier and more rapidly, go from that green to whatever their fall color typically is. The other thing with the drought is because there's less moisture within the trees, the time that those leaves are able to hang on to the tree before falling to the ground could be shortened as well. A
potentially faster foliage season could impact the Vermont tourism industry. According to Vermont State Treasurer Mike Piechek, the foliage season brings in over $500 million and brings tourists to more rural areas.
And you want to try to actually go somewhere that's quite remote to see the beautiful colors and the beautiful mountainside. So, you know, outdoor recreation, tourism generally, it disproportionately benefits those rural parts of our state that sometimes miss out on other types of economic developments.
Jericho Tavern owner Chris Dorman says that so far they haven't noticed fewer visitors, but that for them, the fall tourism season is only starting.
We love having the tourists visit us from all over the country, from all over the world, especially our Canadian partners from above. The tourist season really starts right around now, mid-September, and goes right until the end of October. And we expect it every year, and we count on the business every year.
And while things may be moving quickly, there's still plenty to peep. The Department of Forests says many areas will still have ideal foliage conditions.
There is a good portion of our forests out there right now that still look poised to put on a good show this fall.
Now let's get a look at the latest fall color maps from around the country. Parts of the Northeast are starting to see some moderate colors, and we've got some spotty low color starting to show up in the highest elevations here in the Southeast. The upper Midwest and the Great Lakes are getting closer to high color in some spots, but if you really want to see peak foliage, you need to head west. The northern Rockies are moving quickly through the leaf season, and along the western slope of Colorado, the aspens are bringing hues of gold to the mountainsides. Very, very beautiful out west. In Michigan, agricultural tourism season is getting underway as corn mazes mature and hay rides shift into gear. But current weather conditions are complicating things for local farmers. Duncan McLean explains how the forecast could impact the fall festivities.
Both weather and climate are having major effects on local farmers here in West Michigan as ongoing drought conditions meet variable temperatures here in September, just as the agricultural tourism season really kicks off. Every county in West Michigan is experiencing drought conditions right now, continuing a dry trend for summer. That meant additional irrigation for Post Family Farms pumpkin patches, pumping water from their spring-fed reservoir every other day all summer. The good, or should I say gourd news. That extra water helped their pumpkin crop reach typical supply, with average size just below normal. But the climate did pop their corn crop.
We sell that field corn, we try to make a little money off of it. We hope to break even this year because the ears of corn are so small. Because again, corn needs the water too to grow, and we got a lot of fungus this year.
Julie told us their opening weekend was one of their best ever, with temperatures that day in the mid-60s. Everyone was eager to break out their flannel, hit the hay rides, and bring home some pumpkins and donuts. But the return to 80 degrees swung attendance the other way, so they're looking forward to their typical business boom in mid-October.
Back here in the southeast, it's been 1 year since Hurricane Helene washed away more than half of the Virginia Creeper Trail, a vital source of tourism for the town of Damascus. But recovery is in full swing. Reporter Liam Bridgman shares an update on the repairs to that bike path.
It's been a long road to recovery here in the town of Damascus, and now nearly a year to the date of the destruction caused by Helene, the town says they're better than ever. Since the storm, Trailtown USA lost 18 of the 34-mile Virginia Creeper Trail, a major tourism driver in the area. The portion of the trail that's devastated is owned by the U.S. Forest Service. For months, contractors have been cleaning up portions of the trail, and today, Damascus Town Manager Chris Bell announced a major step forward in their progress.
The design and build contract for the trail will remove remaining debris and damaged trusses, design new trail, and complete the reconstruction. The size of this contract is significant. The design and construction cost for the base contract and all the options is estimated to be between $200 to $300 million. The rebuild will largely keep the trail within the existing corridor to maintain the downward grade of the trail from White Top to Damascus. The tentative timeline for completion is fall of 2026.
The U.S. Forest Service is expected to announce the details of that design rebuild contract by the end of the month.
In North Carolina, the Blue Ridge Parkway has reopened more than 20 miles of scenic roadway after extensive recovery work from Hurricane Helene last year. Kimberly King talked to some of the visitors about their excitement surrounding the reopening.
Today's opening really represents kind of this completion of the first round of recovery projects on the parkway, and so we are celebrating internally and happy for everybody that has access, of course.
The drive to get there, as it is with many things in life, is as much fun as the destination. The ascent on the 20-plus miles newly reopened on the Blue Ridge Parkway are something to behold. Jerry Banks from Swannanoa making the trip with his dog, coming together to take in the views.
Beautiful God's creation. It's been a long year. That's beautiful.
Clement and Leah Sayers' expressions speak for themselves. They're from Baltimore.
We were planning our 26th anniversary, and we planned to come yesterday, and we decided to postpone it today. And thank God today was the perfect time to come.
Staff at Craggy's Visitor Center sharing photos of erosion that happened after Helene. After so much damage, the parkway is using a process called reinforced soil slope to build back more stable slopes in 57 areas impacted by Helene landslides. Just a few hundred yards away from the Craggy Visitor Center is a trailhead that people literally come here to take advantage of. It's the Craggy Pinnacle Trail, and you can see people way up there. They get a 360-degree view of the mountains.
Just breathtaking, really. And visitation on the parkway as a whole across the month of October trends around 2 million visitors during the month.
Craggy was developed for visitors more than 70 years ago. There are cyclists who come up and reach the top, and people who come for the trails. Not all are open right now, but crews continue to work, knowing fall's a key time.
And North Carolina's state parks also have a reason to celebrate. Reporter Justin Berger has that story.
From 6,684 feet,
it's kind of a pinnacle for us.
Mount Mitchell.
It's just a unique place, and no 2 days are ever the same here.
26 miles of the Blue Ridge Parkway opened Monday from the Folk Arts Center in Asheville to Mount Mitchell State Park.
There is nothing more spectacular than that drive.
The park did have a soft opening a few days ago.
The first visitors were lining up early that morning to come to the park.
But held their grand ceremony Thursday, more than 350 days since the park last opened.
This park, being 110 years old, means so much to so many people. People travel from around the world to come and visit this site.
Park Superintendent Robert McGraw loves Mount Mitchell. He's been working in some capacity at the park since 2004.
There's nothing I enjoy more than getting to talk to people, up at the summit or just in a parking lot.
Officials say it's been a hustle over the last few weeks to get ready for the reopening. Significant landslides on the parkway presented an access issue. For a while, the state park was not able to bring up the heavy machinery to fix some of their damage. The restaurant remains closed. About 1,200 square feet of tin blew off the roof. But McGraw says the park mostly fared well.
Well, it's got the views, obviously, when you get up here, but the trails are fantastic.
Jason Diamond made the drive up from South Asheville.
It's nice to be out in the community again and see people happy out on trails, out in the environment, doing stuff.
Mount Mitchell was the last of 13 state parks closed because of Helene to reopen. And just in time, too. The fall colors are starting to pop.
Back here in East Tennessee, leaders with the Tennessee Valley Authority say all of the dams performed as they should during the severe flooding during Hurricane Helene last year. The heavy rainfall pushed them to their limits, but they held strong. Officials say Douglas Dam spilled enough water after Helene to fill Neyland Stadium more than 650 times. As floodwaters swept through East Tennessee last September, TVA played a critical role in controlling those water levels and preventing further damage. Ellis Rold talked with TVA leaders about that historic storm.
Nearly 1 year ago, during Hurricane Helene, Douglas Lake rose more than 21 feet. That made Douglas Dam store almost 200 billion gallons of water. That's enough to fill Neyland Stadium over 650 times. Now, leaders are reflecting on the dam's role in the storm a year later. When one drop affects miles of waterways, control is key.
For flood control, it's like a domino effect.
It's why TVA jumped into action during Hurricane Helene nearly a year ago. Managing Douglas Dam was central to keeping areas above water.
We didn't realize how fast it was going to rise, though, because it did rise over the 3-day period. It did rise 22 feet. So we were able to absorb that water, but then we also had to spill the water as it was coming in as well.
Had TVA not lowered water levels before the storm, its impact would be even bigger.
Imagine 20 feet of water covering that whole lake, washing downriver. So, they estimated probably Knoxville and Chattanooga probably would have been about 20 feet underwater.
Because a drop in this lake has impact.
One drop of water flowing over Douglas affects all the dams downriver.
Leaders say every major storm or natural disaster helps them revise their emergency management policies for the future. Reporting in Sevier County, I'm Ellis Rold.
And as we approach the first anniversary of Hurricane Helene, officials are urging people to prepare for future active weather events. The Knox County Emergency Management Agency distributed 55 free weather radios to residents to help improve communication during emergencies. These radios are part of a larger plan to keep communities safe during natural disasters, such as floods and tornadoes.
This year we've had tornadoes, we've had severe winter weather, we've seen hail throughout the state, even earthquakes. So all of these weather events are important for our community to be aware of and prepared for.
For those who missed the distribution, weather radios are available at local retailers and are always a great way to stay up to date with the very latest notifications and warnings if they are issued for your area. Now, we don't expect a lot of those to be happening in the next several days here in East Tennessee, though we will have kind of an active pattern with off and on scattered showers and storms and even some locally heavy rain possible. Those rain chances kind of decrease a bit as we head into the weekend, but they don't go away entirely. Some spotty light showers will be possible through the weekend and into early next week, and temperatures will remain pretty close to average for it this time of year. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can always get the latest with your forecast in the 10 News app. It's free to download in the App Store.